The Oil and Power Conference opens in Cape Town today. More than 20 African heads of state and energy and petroleum ministers will gather with many high-profile private sector leaders to discuss issues in this sector, themed Make Energy Work. The conference will present panels and plenaries discussing the crucial role the energy sector plays in African development. The event will also offer opportunities to make deals as business and political leaders debate how the sector can help stimulate sustainable economic growth. Let's cross there live.
That in every room, in every hall, it has to be discussed. But then we need to ask ourselves the tough questions. And that's what I like about this conference, where we are going to really, ministers, hold them accountable, make them earn their paycheck, and demand more of the ministers and also of our private sector. I'm so in love with the African Energy Chamber, and everybody say, why you love the chamber so much? Because you guys are all about money. Yes, it's about money. Everybody here, it's about money. Because I believe at the end of the day, if we are going to see an African and all industry and the power sector that works well, we have to take those values. Free market capitalism is still the best path to prosperity, and I don't apologize for it, and we should never be ashamed for putting market-driven policies to make sure that we can move this industry forward because it is right. When we look at today and we move on regulations or legislations, we got to make sure that it is job-friendly. We got to make sure that it targets the right kind of growth that we want in the industry. It is not the biggest point in our continent's exploration history. When we have Uganda finding oil at the same time with Ghana, but at the end of the day, Ghana is producing and then Uganda is not producing. We need to step up our game, we need to negotiate better, we need to do better, and we need to drive it up because we need to get that oil out of the ground and our people need to benefit from it and we need to grow the industry. That's right. And I know it's going to be tough, me talking like this and saying we need to drill more and we need to do this. But some of the ministers here love drill, baby, drill more than I do. Which one of them calls himself drill or drop baby. So I think we need to do more. And and I think we are still in that position where we don't want to discuss the tough issues. We don't want to step out of the comfort zone. And I encourage you in this conference to step out of the comfort zone. Demand better fiscal policies, demand better local content policies, and yes, how God damn it, in 2019, demand more women in leadership in the oil and gas industry. That is right. That is what we need to do. I'll tell you a story about getting women more in the industry. You turn around, look at offshore oil rigs, and we got to go about breaking the gas ceiling. No longer the glass ceiling, that's important, but we got to look at that gas ceiling. Women on oil rigs, women shaping our continent, women providing leadership, whether it comes into power or whether it comes to changing how we are going to manage or govern our resources. It's nothing strange about it. It's still African. It doesn't make us less African not embracing this. It doesn't make us less African not looking and saying and looking at an Elizabeth Rogo. Trained so well from Weatherford. Works in those rigs and puts up a strong engineering firm. But every day has to be told that you're not good enough. When she was right up there doing that. It's different when we look at Queen. And it's different when we look at Zanele, trying to look at rural areas and say we're going to create more energy and develop that. How dare you not look at 50 to 60% of an African population and still leave them in the industry that shapes us? Our oil industry is better than that. We can do better. And yes, in 2019, going 2020, we need to step up our game. We have a big issue, and I think this week we're going to hear a lot about LNG and gas and everything. We're so proud this year to have a big delegation from Senegal. I have been lucky to visit this country. I was lucky to go into the Gorée Islands, one of the most moving places that moved me as a human being and as a person. And I left there, I always talk about Africa's story, how we've moved from slave ships to championships. Senegal represents that. The Americans talk about having freedom gas. I think Senegal brings champion gas. And that is what is going to really see those championship gas. Championship gas in what they've been able to do to get cross-border unitization done better and faster than most African countries. Championship gas, when you look at being able to change, look at in your petroleum legislation that moves and drives business and encourages investment and everything. Championship gas, when you look at a Senegal that moves forward and creates a fast track and a one-stop shop to really train new business, creating a better business environment to really drive things and move it. Championship gas. Those championship guys that we look around that says we are going to have a better energy mix. I was so lucky to sit with the minister in his office and he had a good conversation with me about Senegal's energy mix when I was in Dakar. Championship gas. Championship gas with a plan that talks about emergence 2035, that talks about making Senegal an emerging country and driving Senegal up to become that country that has a full-blown energy mix with petrochemicals, urea, ammonia, and providing power in rural communities and every place. Championship gas, that gas that works for Africa, that gas that generates industry, that gas that really exports as much gas as you can, but also use that gas to power Africa and build Africa. That's a good photo. You better take it well. Championship gas. But that championship gas that comes, that we say, as much as we look around Africa, it is right to look to build our infrastructure. It is right to get it right. And I hope in the next 3 days, we have the best conversations and really do as much as we can to develop it. Please network with each other, develop more. If you still have some money left and some change left, bring it to the chamber. We love your money, and we're proud to take your money. That's what the chamber does. Thank you so much, and it's an honor to be here. I'll bring to the stage somebody who has been a true Pan-Africanist, somebody who has really kept the African flag going, never say no to Africa. You call him late at night, and he and say, well, they need you in Nigeria. You say, okay, I'll go. They need you in Somalia. You say, oh, I'll go. But every day, every night, he walks around his country. This minister thinks about how do I empower my people, and how do I change my people, and how do I improve the oil and gas community. I've seen him take shots from both sides. I've seen him being accused of being too pro-industry, and I've seen him being accused of being too much anti-industry. So when they hit you from both sides, you're doing something wrong. Something right, I guess. It's an honor, and it's my pleasure to bring on the stage His Excellency Gabriel Mbagao Biang Lima from Equatorial Guinea. I think we need to buy you new shoes.
I'll tell you the story right now. Thank you, NJ.
Where take my book?
Give me. I got my book. His Excellency Mohamed Mactar Cissé, Minister of Petroleum, of Energy of Senegal, representing His Excellency Macky Sall, the President of Senegal, His Excellency Fahad Sanjang, Minister of Energy of Petroleum of Gambia,